Welcome, golf fans. Today, another episode of Quiet Please, the golf podcast. I am Alan Depew, your host for about the next 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We got a lot to talk about. We were on traveling last week, and I've got my experts back with all five of you with me. Everybody's in the house. To my left, Boston Bob Baldessari. Hello, Bobby.
It looks like the Olympic rings right here.
It does. It does indeed. And that's the case, parlez français, Monsieur Brendan Elliott?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Bien. Merci.
Oh, yeah, I lost me. Andy Heidorn, welcome from Houston.
Hail, hail, the gang's all here.
You know what's funny about that? I'm the only guy of French descent, and I didn't know shit about what you guys were saying. And the prettiest podcaster in golf, Christian Zamas, with us once again, traveling all parts of the United States, bringing his prettiness upon people. We got a lot to talk about because we were traveling last week, boys. I'm going to just throw out a few topics. I'm sure you've got more. Charlie Woods, Bryson in the news, played golf with some dude, orange guy. The Olympics, as Bobby mentioned, Xander, and the Open Championship. Anybody got any other good ones?
That seems to be plenty to talk about.
I think that's a good start.
That's a good lineup.
So let's go right down the list. Charlie Woods, first national USGA championship. Andy, we're gonna give it to you.
Well, all I can say is I feel bad for the kid. There's a ton of pressure on him. I don't know, he shot in the 160s. And again, there's a lot of pressure on him. And, he swings the golf club so nicely. And I'm sure he'll be a great player one day. But there's a lot to live up to there. And a lot of people, have the microscope on him. And golf isn't easy. And just because your dad could play a little bit in his day and because, you've gotten some golf under the spotlight, it's a really tough go. And like I said, I feel bad for him, but he'll get there.
He has performed under the spotlight. He has obviously a wealth of resources available to him, but you still got to play the game, right?
Yeah, and I think the game's there. I honestly do. There's been so many juniors I've known over the years that have every single tool in their toolbox and can flat out play from a mechanical and from a skill-based standpoint, but putting scores on a scorecard is a completely different thing. And like Andy said, the pressure he feels, I don't think it's driven by Tiger the dad. I think it's the legacy, because I think Tiger's doing everything the right way. So the media, probably more so than anything else, is the ones putting the pressure on Charlie. And I feel bad for him too, because he could still be something.
Yeah, Christian, you're the closest to his age. Let's face it. He's a young man. He's probably doing Snap. He's probably doing all the different social medias like any young person is, but he probably can't, because if he goes on to X or wherever, he's going to read an article about some keyboard warrior that's chirping him.
Yeah, but Charlie's probably used to that already. Do you know what I mean? His dad's Tiger Woods. So, if I was in his spotlight, I would probably stay off social media my entire life or if he is on social media, he probably sees that stuff every day, right? I would say for him, his game is there, I think, obviously, but he needs to, I don't know if it's mental or what, but I would like to see him compete in a tournament without Tiger being there. See how he does. I think Tiger draws a lot of attention while he's there. Obviously, that might make him nervous. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to live up to the hype of Tiger. And I know that Tiger probably wouldn't ever want that upon him. I don't know. But when you watch him swing, he's got one of the best swings in a junior golf, arguably in the world. It's literally I would love to match that swing. So I would like to see what he does if Tiger wasn't there personally. Just being in a competitive mindset, like when I was growing up in junior golf and also playing, collegiately, like it's nerve wracking when your parents are there. Cause I think from a kid standpoint, you want to do your best that you can for them. Not that Tiger or any other parent would be disappointed in you for playing poorly, but I think you add that extra like mindset to you, like, oh shit, I got to make this putt or I got to do this and that when that wasn't really my game plan going into it. I can say from experience, that was me. It didn't matter what I shot, but I still wanted to put a good show on for my parents when they were at my tournaments. So,
and Bobby, final wrap that up on Charlie, but also a little shout out to the rest of the guys that played at the U.S. Junior this year. I mean, holy cow, there was some talent.
Yeah, I was going to mention that I always go back to that Bobby Jones quote. There's golf and there's tournament golf, and they're not the same thing. And we just talked about the mental side, and I think the kid that won was like 5,000 in the
3,452 ranked in the
Isn't he Scott Kaczewski's like son? Like an ex-tour player's son?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
It is.
the other thing it brought to mind was you forget about Tiger and how magnificent he was. He won 3 of those, and it's just hard to make the match play once. And just incredible, what he did. But and I've said this before that, to Christian's point, that self-inflicted pressure is there because I felt it as a kid because my dad was a PGA pro, and in New England when I was playing junior stuff, and I knew people would open up the Boston Globe, and if I felt like if I shot a bad score, that reflected more on my dad and the family thing, and that's like the worst apples and oranges comparison. But I can empathize with, what Charlie's going through, and he physically has a game, but it's going to be a mental thing for him to get over that.
So, Andy, who was playing well was Mr. Xander Schauffele.
A little. I
We
mean,
haven't chatted since the Open Championship.
yeah.
Well, you and I did. We logged on.
Yes.
I mean, surgical, dissected. I mean, what? Give me an adjective.
So I think I'm not going to give you an adjective. That's
Okay.
too much pressure. That's
All
like
right.
being Charlie Woods. I can't handle that. But I would say this, that I've seen several of his interviews, and he really talks about how much Valhalla allowed him to do what he did at Troon. And coming down the stretch, I mean, he's calm, he's hitting great shots. It's amazing that fine razor thin line that it takes from being confident to being, kind of just on the edge of disaster. And we've talked about that before, but he just had all the confidence in the world, and that drove him to victory. And he stood out head and shoulders above the rest.
I'll throw it out to any of you. How about the fact the great theater down the stretch, that back 9? I mean, there was lead changes in multiple directions right around the turn. Rose was there. Obviously, anybody? I mean,
Horschel had a good
yeah,
run on it.
yeah. I mean, the majors have given us some good, action this year. Good storyline.
Yeah, I was really happy to see him win 2 majors this year. It's pretty cool. But I was pulling for Horschel. I don't know why. I don't know why I was compelled to pull for him, but probably because he wasn't on anybody's radar. So that seems to be my MO when it goes in, unless I got somebody on the line. And note to everyone, I haven't won in 4 weeks, so I might just give the betting shit up. But
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You know what I did?
We made picks, right?
I don't know. Did we? For the
I'm pretty sure I can go back and check the previous
shows.
shows.
We did.
We made picks. And from a historical perspective, Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
Something tells me Alan picked Xander.
Oh yeah, he get the X-Man. I had Lowry. Looked
That
good
was
for a while.
For
that
30
was a
for
good
half
looking
for
pick for
half
a
the
while.
competition, he looked like he was the man.
I
But,
don't
you know,
remember who I picked. My video's going out too. I'm sorry. I can't remember who I picked.
Tommy Fleetwood for me missed the cut.
I said Bobby Mack.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I missed the show, so
Andy would have picked Xander if he was
You
there,
clearly would have
obviously.
picked yes.
It-
no,
Andy,
I would have
Clearly.
picked Rory. I
Andy
guarantee.
and I are on the same
Rory.
wavelength of that.
Oh man,
Oh, I did
hats
say
off to Xander
too
though.
that number one in the world would miss the cut. I think Christian was with me on that thought too.
I was with you on that, and what a dumb bet that was. It's like betting against Mahomes in the playoffs. Golf, just never do that. You just never. Well, only idiots do that, and I'm an idiot. So
All right. So Bobby, you were gonna share, and actually, Andy, I think you played Troon, right? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
how cool. I mean, I love links golf. I love the creativity it causes. Everybody has to play, shots are different. You know, it's the ground game. Do you fly it in there? You know, you're literally hitting it over, you're hitting it right down the line of a railroad track. And you block it right, and you almost take out the guy on the other side trying to watch the Open for free. I mean, it's just cool stuff.
Yeah, oh, I played there. I remember hole number one. I birdied postage stamp because that was a thrill. It in there about 5 feet to the right of it. The pin was on the right side. I wish on the railroad hole, I wish they had the camera angle lower because you can't appreciate how hard that tee shot is. It's crazy, right, Andy?
You're looking at nothing but mounds.
Exactly. It's really, really crazy. 16, 17, 18 coming in is pretty cool. My thought was Xander was more like almost like Jack Nicklaus on this, how he played. It wasn't like Tiger, but it was just this methodical, just hanging in there, and everybody dropped back.
Like Shane
Yeah,
Lowry.
well, I deposited the head on my 9-iron in the
In
gorse.
is that where the gorse?
Yep, the 12th hole. That's where the gorse swallowed up my 9-iron head. Very, very sad.
I was gonna say I don't have words for you, Andy.
Yeah, it's sad.
Anyway, great Open championship. Christian? Any final thoughts? How much did you lose that week?
That should not be public information.
Okay.
It was awesome though to watch it, to be honest with you. And,
I'm gonna let you off the hook. Then I'll bring you back. Does this make Xander the odds-on favorite to win Player of the Year?
No.
It's a different kind of election.
No,
it's a different
it's
debate.
Not even close. I'm sorry, it's not even close. You literally are if I will boycott if Scottie doesn't win.
Christian,
Boycott what?
being a little bit.
What do you boycott?
I don't know. My voice is not heard, but no.
You're gonna take
that's my
You're
answer.
gonna take your bourbon and go home.
I'll take my bourbon to Kentucky.
Yes.
It's hard to say that it wouldn't even be a contest with the guy losing out who won 2 majors.
I get that. I will say it's not.
We'll
put it this way:
you grade them on majors, don't you? Sadly, it's
yeah, but Scottie's got a major this year plus 4 other wins.
All of them in a row, basically.
But
it's hard to beat. I understand. I'm not discrediting Xander in any way, shape, or form. It's a phenomenal season. Anybody in the PGA would take 2 majors in a year and just call it. That was the only 2 tournaments they won. Amazing year, but you can't knock a guy who's literally won 5 tournaments and another X amount of top 10s and top 5s.
6? Hasn't he won 6?
6. No, 5.
I thought it
was 6.
Was it 6?
Does it?
Okay, 5 or 6 tournaments, but like another X amount of top 10s.
Does it set up for anybody here, anybody on the panel? Does it set up a showdown? Who does better in the playoffs?
I think it does.
I think you can't go past.
I think so.
You can't go past this week. If Xander and Scottie are, down the
I'm ready to
stretch.
talk about the Olympics, but okay, we'll go there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey,
All right.
it's fair game, Brendan.
I mean, those two could conceivably be gold, silver back, going back and forth down to the final stretch,
I agree.
Yep.
Only if they can navigate the rough.
We.
We I still think I think it's still a good conversation. I know Scotty's won a bunch of events, but if you go by record book versus history book, Xander's got a 2-1 right now. But I still think, did the Olympics play into it, the FedEx Cup, anything else? It's tight. You can't go wrong either way, I suppose.
I think the Olympics is going to be a lot of fun to watch because a lot of guys right now I don't care what country you're from, they're playing very well at this moment. So I think it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Personally,
Americans have not played well at that course, though.
Yeah, but it's set up differently. I was watching something about the setup, so I think. Did all those guys play? Yeah, they did all play that, right? All 4 of them have played that Ryder Cup, correct?
Xander, Morikawa.
No,
Wyndham Clark did not.
Oh, that was before his run. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be a great Olympic golf.
And honestly, and I'll say it, the way he's chopping it up right now, I don't see him competing anyway. So.
I agree.
Huh? Wyndham
Clark, yeah.
I'm going to a therapist to figure out why I don't like him. I just can't figure it out. I don't.
Guess we're not getting him on this show.
I don't know if picks were in the forecast for the Olympics, but I think we should do it just as something fun. We should go like a country to win or a player to win. We should make that fun and see, and actually take the notes down and then come back when it's done and compare them.
I'm
Go for it.
Idea.
Lead off.
Are we doing person/country, or are we just what are we doing?
Christian, whatever is going to please you.
All right. I'm going to say Rory wins gold.
Oh.
Okay. And I'm going to say I'm not going to say a country, but I'm going to say a dark horse, and my dark horse is Min Woo Lee.
Yeah, but you got to name a country. You laid the ground rules.
Okay, Northern Ireland is going to win the gold medal this year.
All right.
It's either going to be him or Shane Lowry.
Andy?
I think this is Scotty's week. I think it's something that he hasn't done yet. He'll probably be up for it, and I'll answer the bell.
BE? Andy, your country, by the way?
I think Xander's gonna keep
US.
Xander's gonna keep riding high.
All right.
What a good story it would be if Pavone, however, is that how you pronounce the French last name?
Yeah. Yep.
That would be a great story if he won. I was impressed when the French kid won the swimming the other day.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That could be a good story, and he's playing well, so he probably knows that course pretty well too.
Bobby?
I'm going with somebody that's been trending very nicely lately, Colin Morikawa.
Good pick. I can see that.
Yep.
I thought you were going with John Van de Velde. No?
It was a tough choice, but I did not. It was like right there.
And once again, you guys are jumping ahead on me, but go ahead. But team pick?
For me?
Yeah.
I am between Ireland and USA, but I might go Thailand.
What is this team pick? There's not a team competition, is there?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I didn't know actually, but whoever wins a gold medal, that country wins, I guess.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to say if you want Xander to win, who
All
your
right,
move is.
okay.
I know who Alan's
just be
picking
honest
before
here.
he even
I didn't
says
know
it.
that there was no team. I blindly trusted Christian on this.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's like having
Sorry.
him try to read my putts. I mean, I just blindly trusted him.
Well,
Sorry.
an interesting thing about the Olympic too is I've been reading a lot about the format, and it 72 hole, the stroke play thing. Maybe it should be something different. Maybe it definitely should be something different. It'll be back in the U.S. at I think Riviera in 2028. So there's going to be some discussion on the format that it should just be a lot different. It can be a lot different. It should be a lot different.
And more interesting. I couldn't agree more.
The IOC is already talking about a mixed team thing.
So
yeah.
So first of all, let me just throw in there. Aubert's going to win. Okay, let's just get that in there real quick. I think they should copy the college.
But what country?
U.S.
No. You can't have it both ways, Alan.
I'll try sometimes.
I thought you were going to pick Lubick.
Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake and have it too.
Marie Antoinette in a 2-hole sudden death playoff.
Just get a good short game
against Sean Vandevelde.
Where I was going with Vandevelde real quick is he made the news because he was back in Carnoustie for like the first time in like, and they gave an interview and he's like, I haven't thought of it. It hasn't even crossed my mind.
Yeah, right.
And shout out to KJ Choi. Well done. Senior Open Championship. I think they ought to use the college format, like a 36 hole, right? 36 hole, and then top 16 players get into a match play.
That would be awesome.
Yep. You could even make it 54 holes in the top 16.
No, you crown an individual champion
after after the medal play.
And then you crown a team champion through match play.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Like the college format. Okay.
Yeah.
Top eight then.
Keep doing like a member guest. Do anything what they're doing now. Do like a Wednesday Gangsom play.
Well,
because
if it was a member guest, if it was a Wednesday member guest, our boy there would have to be checking their handicaps.
Yeah. We need to call Yip in. He had a doozy this week. It was phenomenal. You guys need to check out Yip's entry this week. But one last point for me on this. I just feel like it's just another golf tournament for these guys. And it shouldn't be that way. This is the Olympics. It should be different. It should be interesting, exciting. I mean, I get it. It's great to win a medal. But it's just another individual medal play tournament. It's boring.
Expand the teams to. I mean, you can't have depth with certain nations. So maybe if you expand the teams to three per team, so you can get more nations involved. I mean, is that enough?
Well, three or four, because other countries like us, for example, that we have 4 right now. So that means we're getting rid of the person. You got to find the equal.
Well, I was trying to come up with an odd number that a match play team format would have a winner, but I guess.
But how deep are you going to go? Like how many countries have a chance to win?
Truth be told, Mr. Hydorn, I actually sat down one day with the world rankings, mapped out an entire Olympic team, and you get down to some of the smaller countries, you're down to number 250 in the world.
Wow. With how many?
But to me, it's kind of like a World Cup, right?
Yeah.
You got to qualify to get in. And what do they do for soccer in the Olympics? I mean, not every country gets to
well, they have they have a qualifier.
Yep.
They have a qualifier, and then they get in, and then they put them into pool play, and then get the top 2 out of each pool, and they go into the knockout round.
Yeah, so your qualifier can be, world golf rankings.
I agree.
Or the majors.
I think We need to map
Probably
this
more
out.
fair.
We should post what we think it should be, and we should put it out there.
Yep.
And Bob, I mean, you know everybody. So why don't you just reach out to the Olympic Committee and say, Please Golf Podcast wishes to revamp the Olympics.
Hold on, I'll make a call right now.
Yeah.
Bonjour. As we say at the club, we do the difficult immediately. The impossible takes just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy me. Okay, so let me just probably an appropriate time to throw this one in there, just randomness. Don't be that guy. I shared it with in a text message. I'm going to say it right now. I just saw some interesting statistic. National Golf Foundation, 1 in 4 players are now Gen Zs and millennials. Golf is getting younger. Golf is getting cool. What have you? Christian, don't listen to this. When you go out on a golf course, I mean, come on. Keep control of yourself. And more importantly, hashtag don't be that guy. Don't grab the beverage cart attendant. That's just flat being an asshole. There we go.
Or breaking the law.
Or breaking the law. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Not the first. Yeah.
Okay, I got that off my chest.
Yeah, you know what though? Like, and I'm not giving anyone a free pass here, but like that whole generation has taken this whole beverage cart girl thing to a different level by talking about them all the time, and like they've literally gotten to the point where it's kind of like I don't know, people feel like they have a right to do things to the beverage cart girl.
It's almost like they're the golf's version of the Hooter girls, and they're treated with the same level of respect or lack thereof.
Yeah, I think so.
That needs to be reimagined and just put out some retired older guys.
Yeah.
That if you're thirsty and hungry, that's all it needs,
Yeah, that would go over like a
Christian's
fart
got
in
some
church.
good looking legs. I'm not gonna lie.
If you're thirsty and hungry, you don't care who's coming your way.
Oh,
Awesome.
all right. Who wants to go there? Bryson made waves.
I didn't even watch the video.
I haven't watched the video. I know.
I haven't watched it.
I know.
What they end up shooting?
I watched it, and I don't want to really get into politics because I have strong feelings that I keep to myself. I will say this. Other than his putting stroke, I was pretty surprised by the ex-president's golfing abilities. I think he probably could hold a handicap from the up tees of what he claims to have. Because they did shoot 50, and
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
That might be the only good thing I say about that man the rest of my life. Lean in,
His
baby.
His putting strokes sucks.
Yeah,
It's
Like
weird.
it's atrocious.
yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's like it's worse than mine, and mine's bad. Alan's seen it.
Alan only sees perfection when
comment.
he looks at himself.
Really, Papa Dukes? No comment there. Nothing. Just silent. All right. Noted. Noted.
Actually, my beverage cart attendant is texting me right now.
So I
Translation,
feel like
Christian, I was ignoring you.
I'm used to it. It's all right.
I feel the same way Brendan does. Like I was pretty damn impressed with the way Donald Trump kind of goes around the golf course. He kind of gets the most out of a pretty consistent swing and hits a lot of shots that stay in play. Do I feel like he could ever come close to sniffing a club championship from, the championship flight? Not a chance in hell. Like never, not at any course, anywhere, anytime. But that being said, he was kind of fun to watch. And Bryson is just he's gold. That
Yeah.
guy. He's
For sure.
unbelievable how, and he's so aware of what's going on too. He's now talking about playing around with Kamala, I think.
Yeah.
So, good for him for doing this. And I think the one thing that we all see Trump as a politician. We all see Trump as a politician and doing the things that he does. But at the end of the day, the guy is a pretty damn hospitable host. And you could see that in that video. And that's why he has a lot of influential people around the world that kind of actually like him and consider him to be a friend. And you can see it.
So I felt it was. I'm gonna jump in. I felt it's terrible that Bryson has to go out and on record and defend why he did a video that was shot before or right after or before a debate or before this or whatever, before he goes out of the country to meet travel plans. I find that just we need to take a step back, people. He's just, that's one. Two is, Donald, from an agronomic standpoint, I know you own the golf course, but move the cart away from the tee box. Three is, he's got a shorter backswing than I do, but he's got me by 20 years. And so I can cut him some slack. And four, I got him on the putting stroke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do. I can attest to that one.
Yeah.
And
You do
then
have him on the
some.
putting stroke. Everything else, though, I don't know, Papa Dupes. You and that would be a match.
Me and the Donald.
I gotta get the
No,
side
he
edge Papa
couldn't
Dupes.
he couldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
Thank you.
He
Yeah.
couldn't.
Thank you. Bobby, would you like to chime in?
I will
Actually,
chime
what I
away.
really, you know what, before you say anything, how many views has that video gotten?
Oh, it's like 7 million or something.
A lot, yeah.
Let me look. I'll look right now.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everybody. I mean, but definitely to Andy's point that if you just strip away everything, it's just two guys playing golf. Yep, they've got backgrounds and context and on and on. But, I just looked at, I didn't see the whole thing. I watched the bits and pieces. And I thought there's some fun banter. It sounded like two guys playing golf. And if you look at the older guys hitting the golf ball, it's like all of a sudden I feel like I'm getting older and like, hey, when I'm in my late 70s, I hope I'm still playing golf and I can move the ball out there. I feel I'll definitely have a better putting stroke, but it's just really hard this day and age to look at something and just in a vacuum because people pile in everything and look at different angles. So I don't know, but I do agree. Bryson is somehow. Did you guys? I sent you guys a video of Bryson at 14. That was pretty amazing. I mean, he's been pretty comfortable. He's 14 years old, best amateur golfer in California. This little piece that we saw, really smooth.
Yep.
Can't wait to watch that, actually.
10 million views, by the way. That video.
10 million views.
Yep, 10 million views.
Wow. Huh. Okay.
Pretty strong.
Very strong.
I was not a Bryson fan, as everyone knows who listened to the show years ago. Was not a fan. Huge fan of him now.
Well, wait a minute. That was Bryson 1.0 into 2.0. We're on Bryson 3.0.
Yeah, I would say that, and I've been very vocal about this. I think golf needs Bryson personally. He brings that different vibe to the game that others don't. I'm
going to ask
you to admit this.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question because I brought it up at work the other day, which is, of the live golfers, who do you really miss right now, Christian?
Bryson. Never thought I'd say that. Bryson all day long. I don't miss Rahm because Rahm's got attitude. No, I lied. I would say it's a tie between Terrell Hatton and Bryson.
Oh, you don't like Rahm because he has an attitude, but you miss
But you
Terrell
like
Hatton? Okay.
Okay, hold on.
That doesn't make sense.
When Terrell Hatton has a bad shot, did you see what he did at the Open? He had such a bad shot on 12. He carried his own back. I find that to be hilarious. Like, at least he owns up to the fact of him hitting a bad shot. John Rahm just yells at the crowd like he's a crybaby. Sorry, there's my rant for the show.
Bobby, who is there anybody right now that you feel you miss? Because Greg was getting ready to make cuts. He was warning them.
I miss Louis Oosthuizen in swing. I'm watching the swing.
You can watch it on the CW.
Yeah.
You know who else I miss? We can't find him ever. Where's Andy? Can't see him. Don't know where he is.
Andy Ogletree was beating John Rahm the other day till he fell back.
He also made the cut the Open too. Tied for last place.
Missing anybody?
I miss HV3. I always liked Charles Howell, but those guys were destined to go that direction and go with Lib.
No. Go ahead, Andy.
So for me, like there's two questions here. Like, what does golf miss? And I think golf misses
all of
having Brooks and having Bryson and having Rahm. Like, in Joaquin Neiman, I'll throw him in there too. Cam
I do
Smith,
miss Brooks.
I'm not sure.
So the three names I threw out were you touched on one. I mean, obviously Brooks and Bryson.
Yep.
I think we missed their personalities. We missed the new person 3.0. Brooks, you just love him because he's the Terminator. But for me, it's Cam Smith because I think we were robbed of a great talent as golf fans.
See,
he was right at the rise.
The bigger question though is, like, who do you not miss? Like there's, if you go down the list of live players, there's a lot of guys that were relevant PGA Tour players that are irrelevant now. And Brooks and Bryson and John Rahm, Cam Smith, those guys are never going to be irrelevant because they're some of the best players in the world. But at the end of the day, some of these guys are just, they're gone. Like, they are gone.
Bryson is the only player, I shouldn't say the only player. Him and Brooks, in my opinion, are the only two players that have separated themselves on live that are still relevant in the game of golf today. That changes.
Like,
I'm saying for a major, because that's all they play in. Bryson has, I think, gotten way better since he left the tour.
But no one was talking about Bryson before this.
I think.
But everybody's talking about him now.
But this goes to something Andy said. I don't know, like within the last month. I know that they have been liberated from the ability now that they can be themselves on social media channels and full swing and those type of things. I think has been great for showcasing each of those guys.
Yeah, Bryson wouldn't be the Bryson we know now if it wasn't for the path that he took. And so the fact that he won the US Open and people, I was watching before his US Open. I've been watching his channel for a while and seeing what now a lot more people are seeing because they were curious after he won. But he wouldn't have, like, if he was still on the PGA Tour, there would be no Bryson 3.0. I don't think there would.
Do you feel like they wouldn't allow that, or he just wouldn't be doing it? I don't think
they would, because it's part of that whole thing that Phil and those guys were contesting, that the tour doesn't allow them to do certain things, and like their media clips or their whatever they do is the tours, right? I mean, wasn't that
when did Phil start his fireside chats, or was he exempt from any of that kind of stuff?
Who's Phil?
They let him do
left-hander played a number of years ago.
For wellness, Andy. For wellness.
Or Phil Rogers.
Yeah,
who's Phil?
Rogers.
I don't know. I don't even know if Phil.
Phil Hancock. Only Bobby knows who that is.
Wait,
right?
who?
Do any of you know who Phil Hancock is?
No.
Who the
No
heck?
way.
Who's that?
He was a tour player back in the 70s.
Yep.
Dude, I wasn't even thought of in the 70s.
Phil Blackmore,
I'll give you a pass, Christian.
the giant
Thank
panda.
you. Thank you.
We'll do a historical class one day.
Yeah.
I would, I would,
Oh,
love, I
here's-
would love to give Christian like 5 questions from the past of golf and see if he gets them.
Hey, here's
I'd
a
probably go
celebration.
for
We'll buy
5.
no. If he could get a passing grade, we'll buy him a bottle of Woodford.
Woo, new
I'll
segment.
pick it up
that-
myself.
I'm probably going to
Trivia.
go.
New
I would
segment.
go 0 for 5 on those questions. It's like my batting average growing up in baseball.
Which
Yeah.
player in the 30s and 40s was called Little Poison?
Dude,
Paul
I have no
Runyon.
idea.
That's right, Alan.
Bourbon Bob.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, Bourbon Bob knows.
Well, the other
No,
day
I'm phoning a friend.
Oh,
we're
Bourbon Bob.
helping. We help coach the local high school, the Woodford County High School. And the other day it was raining. We're inside. I'm doing a little presentation. I happened to say something about the short game in Sevi, and I looked around the room. I said, looking at all the high school kids, everybody knows who Sevi is, right? Nope. Sevi Ballesteros. Nope. It's like, oh my God, I
not
feel
a
old.
one.
Not one.
Might as well
You know,
be Abraham Lincoln.
I could use a new bottle of Woodford. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll set
All
up
right,
a
well,
good
that's-
Or help
so-
my big,
So you know
or
what?
I should say, help my big brother out
That's
with
where
some Q mixers.
that's going to be the hot seat, a modified hot seat for the Prius podcaster.
Hot seat trivia.
There we go.
Only 5 questions though, and I'm gonna. I will probably go 0 for 5.
I'm writing this down right now.
I'm liking
Oh, boy.
the new segment. I'm liking it.
And we could let the fans know the questions and bring them in somehow. Get prizes. Q mixer.
Ooh, a Q mix. Oh, you.
I still have yet to try
I am
that.
all.
I
I
need
am
to buy
all
some.
about. Hey, I'm all about the fans having some Q mixer.
But you're about you having some Q mixers first.
It's at your local store.
Believe me, gentlemen, I will take care of all of you.
So I'm
That's my
gonna.
big brother.
I guess I'll just stroll over to Wegmans and buy it myself.
We have it fully stocked in
Don't
this.
no, Alan. Don't do that. I know a guy.
All right. Well, I let that one simmer for a minute. 18th hole, Bobby. You go first.
I'm first. Well, I'm gonna take a minute here and talk about something that means it was coming to me more to me lately. And we had a recent LPGA Legends event. Anthem Healthcare was one of our sponsors, big sponsor. Activation on site. I'm in and out of the booth, just doing my thing. There's a doctor of dermatology in there. She said, "Hey, have you ever had your skin looked at, skin screen?" I said, "No, but I feel good. I don't think there's anything wrong." So I said, "Well, take a look at my arms." So she looks at the arms. She's like, "That no, your arms look good." She goes, "Well, let's take a look at your face." So lo and behold, there were 2 precancerous spots on my temples right up here. And that was a complete and utter, like, what are you talking about? So I had to go to the dermatologist, did the old freeze off. I met with the Kentucky PGA today, and I said, it took 1 minute. It literally took 1 freaking minute for this lady doctor to check me out and find out that I got 2 spots that could turn into skin cancer, and I had them taken care of. So if you haven't had a screening, really, you should do it. There's a lot of people that are young in their 20s who get skin cancer, maybe even in their teens. I've learned a whole lot. And for 1 minute, it's different than a colonoscopy, which I never thought was that bad. I mean, it's going to save your life, put up with some crazy drinking stuff. But we're going to try to do something here in the Kentucky PGA with Anthem. And so everybody that plays golf gets a screening. And I think we're going to save some lives. And it's so simple. And I've always worn a hat, but now I gave my first lesson in my life with the Brendan Elliott style hat, the big bucket. And I felt like I was in an echo chamber, but that's okay. I got to wear the wide brim now. So get your skin tested.
Good advice. BE.
2 thoughts. I was thrilled to see what the PGA Tour announced earlier this week about the Creator Classic. They're doing the Wednesday before the
Like that.
championship. I think Fat Perez is playing, the Bryan Bros. some of the good guys, Grant Horvat. So that should be fun. And you guys know I've been beating that drum for a while, that these YouTubers are they're just so fun to watch. Joey Colcutt's just had another hole-in-one the other day on Bob Does Sports. I mean, it's bringing in a lot of people to the game. Some of them go to Ellen's course and act a fool, but they're coming to the game. So that's thought one. And thought
fool up in here.
My last thought is kind of along the same lines of what Bobby just said. I've been looking at turning 50 here pretty soon, and I've got to take better care of myself. So that's been my mission for almost a month now, and I've lost 13 pounds, and I'm eating right, and I'm getting my steps in, and I'm swimming. But there's still some things like Bobby just mentioned that scare the shit out of me, and going to the dermatologist is one of them, because I know I've got some sun stuff happening on my face. And you can't be scared, men, especially our age, 50 and above. Christian, you're excluded from this comment, but we got to take care of ourselves, because we have kids and we have grandkids that we need to be around for. So
Good point.
Yep.
Youngster. I'm going to go off of what Bourbon Bob said as well, because there's a lot of things, like, you just don't know what people are going through nowadays, obviously. And, there's some people in my life currently that are going through some stuff. And I just want people to just overall just I don't want to swear, but don't be a dick to people. Just don't be rude. And no need for it in today's world. All right. Our world's already effed up as it is. So, like, just take care of yourself, take care of each other. And, at the end of the day, you don't know what people are going through. So try to be there for them as much as possible. And that was my final thought, just short and sweet.
Andy.
So I got two things. I think there's an interesting story making its way around social media about a member guest in Virginia, where just kind of the scenario is that they were in the shootout at the end. Somebody kind of whacked at a putt that was on the lip and didn't put it in the hole, and then the other guys, their opponents, gave them the putt. Now everybody's calling them heroes for giving them the putt. And I would just say that, looking at this group, I hope every one of you would have done the same thing. I think it's a little bit much to be calling these guys heroes for doing that. I look at it kind of the opposite. Anyone who wouldn't have given them the putt is that word that Christian just said. They're acting like a total dick. So cool. I mean, that's an opportunity to do the right thing, but it's also a better opportunity to not do the wrong thing. And the final thought that I have is my low-key favorite point about the Bryson Trump video was Trump professing his love for Patrick Reed as his favorite player.
Oh, God.
great. It figures.
Who? Mr. Irrelevant? Who?
AD.
I don't even know how to come back from that.
That's a mic drop.
All right, well, I'm just gonna. I was going. We're all getting personal, so I'm just gonna throw in a personal. Personally, I don't know if I would have given the putt. Now, personally, shout out, my boy Grayson went to his first Red Sox game last night.
Nice.
Got a little pin. Got a little
Go
pin sitting in the upper decks. Loved it.
Go
So,
Sox.
next generation Red Sox fan, Sox Nation.
Go
And
Yankees.
That's awesome.
That's all I got. That's all we got. Till next week. Hasta la vista.